motherfuckers? Here for episode 12, El Guero Loco podcast. And we have a lot to fucking discuss today. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. Donald Trump was just elected fucking president. Overnight, I had my fight this weekend. We had UFC Edmonton. Up next, we got Carlos Prates, Neil Magny, and then following that, we have John Jones, Stipe Miocic. Bilal Muhammad has fallen out of UFC 310, and we did not discuss UFC 308. So, we got a fucking banger for you today. Lots to fucking talk about. We'll start off with my fight. So, I posted it here on fucking YouTube. Just wanted to touch on it a little bit. I felt really good. The training for the fight went really well. I was in really good shape. I was running 2 miles in 10 minutes pretty easily. I could have went even faster than that if I needed to. Was definitely in shape. The weight cut was good. The morning of the fight, I felt great. I went, weighed in, all that, and then after the weigh-ins, the nerves kind of hit. When I got to the event that night, I got an hour early. All the fighters were supposed to get there an hour early. I probably sat up, and we were all in the same locker room. It wasn't like red corner, blue corner locker rooms. It was everybody up in one room, which was actually like a pole dance studio. And I was essentially warming up on one corner of the room. The guy I was going to fight was on the other corner of the room. We were watching each other the whole time. A little bit different. Kind of the nerves had subsided by that time. And I was feeling pretty good. When I stepped into the ring, I felt good. But if you go watch the fight, it's not the prettiest fight. And I'll be the first to admit that. It was my first Muay Thai fight. They dressed us up. I didn't even know about this till that day. That we were going to have to wear these. I knew about the headgear, no problem, but I didn't know about the Humpty Dumpty suit. Now, if they would have had this suit for Humpty Dumpty wouldn't even been a fucking song or a story. I don't know why they made us wear it, not him. Needless to say, the thing was pretty fucking tight. It was like a corset. You couldn't breathe in all the way like you wanted to. So it affected the breathing a little bit. I don't think that affected my cardio to a crazy extent. I was in really good shape, but the mobility in the thing was pretty stiff. So if you watch the punches and they look kind of like robot punches, it's 50% because of the nerves, 50% because of the fucking suit. But other than that, came out with a split decision win. I watched the fight back. I don't see where he won 2 rounds, but I'm also fucking biased. I'm watching myself fight. What the fuck do you think's gonna happen? What do you think? How was it?
I think you did really good, being your first Muay Thai fight. Speaking on like how you were feeling, I don't know how you were feeling, but for me, I was nervous. I've never seen you like fight before, ever, and I just wanted you to do good. So
we got the dub. Trump got the dub. It's a undefeated weekend full of W's, dude. So yeah, that's really all that. We went to a meetup on Friday night to watch my homies from the gym fight, Fernanda and Mauricio. Mauricio has been training. I've never witnessed Mauricio train at the gym at Samurai, but he was there for years before I got there. I've only been there for a year. This last year he's been training in the UFC PI in Mexico City, but he is a Samurai alumni. So Fernanda goes out in the first 20 seconds, gets rocked. I mean, sends her ass flying straight back. She almost went stiff up against the cage, falls back into the cage, and from then on puts on a spectacular ass beating. She beat that girl's ass. And it makes it even more, the win better for me because she fought through that adversity. It wasn't, she just went out there and Khabib smashed that girl the whole time. She had to fight through adversity. had to fight and recover through that. She got hit hard, bro. Her whole body went, she just fell back in the cage. I thought she got knocked out. I grabbed my face like this. It always sucks when you get together with your friends to all watch a fight and who you're watching doesn't win. It just kind of throws a little damper on the fiesta, you know? But she went out there and killed it. Mauricio went out there first round, TKO with a, I want to say a knee to the liver, but I think it was a knee to the sternum, and homie just couldn't breathe. He was down, curled up on the ground for 2 minutes after the knee. I mean, he was hurt. So, Samurai putting out 2 dubs this weekend. I got the dub. My friend Mao also fought in the Smokers. He got a split decision loss, but the fight was almost stopped in the 3rd round. He just didn't have enough time to finish it. Mao is 14 years old. Mao has nothing to fucking worry about. This was his 2nd Smoker event. He's doing great. He's going to do just fine when he gets older. For 14 years old, getting this experience now, I mean, bro, I'm 27. So just think about that. By the time he's 27, bro, he's going to be kicking ass. Attaboy Mao, attaboy Fernanda, Mauricio, and myself. Thank you to my coach Freddie and to Turco for coming and cornering me. They, I mean, to have those 2 caliber fighters in your corner when the other corners look to be, you know, maybe coaches, maybe fighters, I'm not sure. We definitely had the best corner for Samurai representing. There was 4 or 5 gyms there that night. And actually, I wasn't the only fucking gringo there. There was another gringo named Cody Weston or something like that. Some big redheaded white guy. Anyway, it was a good night of fights. We went out to eat after. And since then, I have been doing nothing but sitting on the couch, playing Fortnite, eating junk food. Gonna get back in the gym probably Monday of next week. My foot's a little hurt still, and my left knee is a little hurt still. But other than that, came out unscathed with a Diet Coke, like Brennan Schaub says. 308, we didn't get to touch on at all. Let me pull that up here on my phone. 308. We went 6 for 6 on that pick, on those fights. How'd you feel about Max's performance?
Me?
Or Ilya and Max, sorry. How'd you feel about Ilya's performance?
I mean, Ilya did amazing. He's not my favorite because he did beat my favorite, which is Volk. So my feelings were a little hurt. But I think he did amazing. He knocked out Max, no? Yeah,
3rd round.
I don't think anyone's ever done that to Max. So I think that's pretty impressive. I mean, Gotta give credit to him.
So we picked Ilya. Ilya got the win in round 3, 1 minute and 34 seconds with the knockout. Completely went in there. He rocked Max with a punch, sent Max flying backwards, and then he kept composed. He didn't go all crazy and run in and try to kill him right away. He stayed composed and he hit him with the freaking... I think he knocked out Volk with the right hand and he knocked out Max with the left hand, which is pretty impressive. I mean, he's got power in both hands. The guy can crack, especially for the much shorter guy in that fight. Max was significantly taller than him. He was closing the distance very well. And yeah, Ilya is him. So now we've got the discussion of there's Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Alex Volkanovski, and this is your 5th featherweight champion, Ilia Topuria. Now, all 5 of those champions have been phenomenal champions. Conor, not so much because, I mean, Conor's rise to championship was what makes him a good champion-ish, but he never defended the belt. He's never even fought at 145 since he won the title. So I would say Conor's got to be out of the discussion. It's hard like this because Jose Aldo is a fan favorite. Max beats Jose. So it's hard for Max to be the fan favorite because he just knocked out the good guy. Then everybody starts to like Max and Volk knocks out everybody's fan favorite. Now nobody likes Volk as much because he knocked out the good guy. Then people start to like Volk and then he gets knocked out by Ilya, and Ilya is now taking out 2 fan favorites. I mean, it's just a toss-up. I'd say the featherweight GOAT still has to be Jose. Ilya can take that spot with his performances that he's putting on. Say he goes out and knocks out Diego Lopez. Say he goes out and knocks out Yair and then knocks out, or Ortega might be up to 55 now. I don't know if he's going to fight featherweight again. Max has said he's not going to fight featherweight again. So there are some clear contenders. I think they might do a rematch between Volk and Ilya, but yeah, so far Ilya's looking really good for the featherweight division. Robert and Hamza, what do you think about that?
Crazy. Did you see all the pictures of what happened to Whitaker?
Yeah.
Insane.
His teeth got pushed in pretty far, man. That was
When did that happen? The first round?
in the first round, pretty fast. Yeah. Hamza shot from across the cage. I mean, he was like 15 feet away, and he just like shot out of a fucking rubber band. There's his fucking intensity when he fights. He's very intense. Well, Jake, hey, fucking dogs. If you can do that to Robert Whitaker, bro, that's pretty fucking incredible. And the champion right now is the last guy who did that to Robert Whitaker. I'd say Rob was the favorite in the Dricus fight, and Dricus went in there and just obliterated Rob. And then if you want to call what Dricus did to Rob obliteration, then I don't know what you call Hamza did to Rob. I believe Rob took Dricus down. And if Rob could take Dricus down, then Hamza can definitely take Dricus down. I'd say Hamza jumped the line for Strickland. I'd say Hamza jumps the line and goes straight to the title fight. That's what I think. I'm not the fucking UFC. I don't make the big bucks to make these decisions. But if I had to say, it would be Hamza next for the title. Hamza Dricus, that'd be freaking sweet. Next, we had Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. We picked Ankalaev. Rakic came out and won round 1, I thought. I got to think back. This is a couple weeks back. And then Magomed does what he does, and he didn't wrestle. He stood up the whole time. Rakic's corner told him that at the end of round 2, he said, for sure, we're up 2 rounds, just coast, don't get knocked out. I'm not sure if that was the right advice, but I guess the corner knows their fighter better than I do. It wasn't a split decision, right? No, I don't think so. Next on the list, that should be your next contender also for Alex Pereira, would be Magomed Ankalaev. They both, right when Bilal had made public his injury, they both tweeted the telephone emoji, like, call me. If Alex defends his belt again at 310 and successfully defends it, wow. I mean, you're witnessing history. To be able to watch this Alex Pereira thing unfold live and not have to be a fan after and go back and hear about Pereira, to be watching him do what he's doing live is very spectacular, to say the least.
Do you think he's going to step in?
I think he will. I don't know if the UFC will make that call. I think the UFC is probably going to do... So when they do an interim, it's because the champ's going to be out for a significant amount of time. I don't know how much time Bilal is going to need for this. I know they said they're going to do a pick line. He's going to have to go 6 weeks, not training. I don't think that should warrant enough time for interim. Mm-hmm. But they might do Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Usman. They could do... Well, Ian Gary now has a main event spot with Joaquin Buckley in Tampa. So I was going to say interim with Shavkat, Ian Gary. Interim with Shavkat, Jack Della. But also Usman. Usman's right there. I think he deserves a shot. He was a long-time defending champion. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we'll have to see what it is. But UFC 310 is still undecided. The next fight up was Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige. We picked Lerone Murphy. He got injured. Not injured. He got hurt in that first round, I believe. He got teep kicked right to the gut, and I think it hurt him from Dan. Went out and put on a good performance after that, after he got hurt. The next fight on the list was Shara Bullet versus Arman Petrosian. Shara hit the double spinning back fist, which we had not seen live in the UFC yet. A double. But if you go watch his open workouts, he was drilling that exact technique in the open workouts. He was doing it more of like a spinning elbow to elbow. But you can do the thing and just open your fist too. So that's what that was. 6 for 6. I mean, pretty fucking good. If I would have put money on it, I would have won some money. But we don't gamble around here. We like fucking money in our pockets. Let's look up UFC 309. Actually, after that, I got Moreno Albazi. So I didn't watch these fights because obviously my fight was the same day. Moreno put on a spectacular performance. I think it was 50-45, 50-45, and 49-46. So one judge thought maybe Albazi won around. From what I've heard, Brandon just smoked him the entire time. Good for Brandon. It's weird in that division because we got Asu. I don't know how to say his name, man. I'm not gonna. The new debuter from Ryzen, who's gonna fight Pantoja for the belt. Brandon said he possibly needs one more win before he fights for the belt again. But the thing is, all these top guys have kind of fought each other a bunch of times. Like Moreno's fought Kai Kara France. Moreno's fought Royval. Moreno's fought Pantoja. Like, you're kind of making third and fourth fights for all these guys, but the top of the division, there's like 5 or 6 flyweights that stand out from the other flyweights. So we'll see what happens there. This is your UFC 309 event coming up soon. And I believe the day before this is Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I've been told from a lot of people that Mike Tyson still possibly has a chance. I'm under the impression that Jake's going to smoke this guy. Now, they are 14-ounce gloves. Significantly bigger than, like, that's what I train in. Like, sparring is 14-ounce gloves.
Okay.
So the fight will be 2-minute rounds, 8 2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves. Knockouts are permitted. It is a pro-sanctioned bout, so Mike Tyson's record will be affected by a win or loss. Pretty fucking stupid fight, if you ask me. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I've already ranted about it before, so. The opening fight of your UFC 309 main card is Mauricio Rufy versus James Yontop. Rufy's on a hot streak. Rufy should go out there. I'm not going to make picks yet because we're not close enough. I want to see Fight Week media and all of that. Mauricio Rufy is a fucking killer for sure. The next fight is a women's flyweight bout. And I don't know either of the fighters, so I'm not going to even talk about it. Sorry, guys. The next fight, we got Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. Should be a good fucking test for Bo Nickel. I don't know why Paul Craig's still trying to cut down to middleweight. I mean, it's such a cut for him. I think that a lot of fighters, sometimes they get in a rut and they think maybe if I switch coaches or I switch divisions, and sometimes it works, but not always. So we'll see what happens with Paul Craig in this one. He's done middleweight a couple times now. Hasn't been super crazy successful. Bo Nickel is still very untested. We know what the wrestling is. We're still trying to figure out what the striking is. And also with those wrestlers, they can have advantages on the feet just because the other guy's so worried about the shot and trying to get down in time to block the shot that maybe their hands are coming lower as Bo feints and they'll shoot and then Bo can sneak one in through the top. We'll have to see. Very excited for that. The next fight, my favorite UFC fighter, Charles Oliveira, taking on Michael Chandler for the second time. The first time they fought was for the belt, undisputed championship fight. For the vacant lightweight title, which Khabib had just vacated because he retired. I would say that whoever wins this fight, you're going to see fight whoever wins Islam and Arman. Okay? So, that would be possibly some new blood for Islam if Michael can win. Your next fight on the card is John Jones versus Stipe. Everybody thinks John's going to go in and smoke this guy. Stipe hasn't fought in quite a long time. Neither has John. Don't sleep on Stipe, though, man. This guy's considered the greatest heavyweight in the UFC of all time for a reason. Okay? So, Stipe can knock out John. John can out-wrestle Stipe. So, we'll have to see what happens, you know? I would say probably both these guys are going to retire. And even if it's not a real retirement for negotiation tactics, to say, oh, I'm retired. If you really want me to come back and fight, you're going to have to pay me this or this, blah, blah, blah. So we will see. We will see. Let me go to Bloody Elbow, see what kind of headlines we are making this week in combat sports. Here's one. The title is That's a Disaster. Former UFC heavyweight is terrified of one particular outcome in Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Let's see who. Oh, okay, it's Brendan. Brendan Schaub reveals his biggest fear ahead of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Since retiring from MMA, Brendan Schaub has become a popular analyst, regularly keeping his fans entertained with his views on the combat sports world. Therefore, with Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson set to go down next week, and the former fighter has given his thoughts, and they're not overly positive. In a video uploaded to his YouTube channel, this former UFC star said, I love Mike Tyson. I love Jake Paul. I hope it fucking crushes. But for the life of me, I cannot figure out the upside to this. Yeah, I mean, so Jake loses, and 60-year-old Mike Tyson wins. Cool. What does that do for anybody? I mean, that derails anything Jake has going. If he loses to this guy, I mean, bro, it's going to be hard to get over losing to a 60-year-old regardless of who the fuck it is. Not to mention, if Jake wins, he beat up an old guy. I mean, fucking congrats, buddy. So, I don't know. It's kind of a lose-lose for Jake in this situation. You either lose to an old guy or you beat up an old guy. It's like playing basketball with a girl, you know? It's like, oh, you just fucking beat a girl. Good for you. Or, oh, you lost to a fucking girl, you know? I don't know. But, it's happening. Nothing we say is going to keep it from happening. So, no fucking problem.
Oh yeah, now that you put, I just saw Alex Pereira. Is he starring in a movie or something?
Yeah. So Alex is in a movie. He's gonna be like the villain of some sort. I don't know. He's probably not gonna talk at all, right? He doesn't know English, and even the English that he's scripted, it doesn't sound super great. But I'll watch. Definitely, I'll watch. Just see this fucking guy. I don't know what he's supposed to do. He's a villain if he's killing people and just saying Shama or what. But, yeah, Pereira's going to be in a movie for sure. We got Usyk Tyson Fury 2 coming up. That's going to solidify if Usyk is the best ever heavyweight of all time. If he beats Tyson Fury again, it's Usyk, brother. I know we got to pay respects to Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., the greats of that division, Lennox Lewis, George Foreman, Tyson Fury even, but this guy seems to just be unstoppable, and it's crazy because he's a cruiserweight initially that came up to heavyweight. He's not a natural heavyweight. He was undisputed champion at cruiserweight, let alone. Oh, Brandon Moreno officially surpasses flyweight GO and 2 records. So I read this earlier. He passed Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, and all-time significant strikes in the flyweight division. He passed him. He's now up like 1,130 something, and DJ was 1,050 something. So almost about 100 significant strikes, and he's got more fights left in him. So he's just going to keep upping that record every time he fights. Third place, I believe, was Pantoja with like 800 something significant strikes. So second place isn't even really that close. Also, he broke the record on fight time in the cage. It's now up to like 4 hours and 40 minutes or something for Brandon Moreno. He's got your record for fight time in the octagon, and he got your record for all-time significant strikes in the flyweight division. So, kudos to fucking Brandon. Brandon's a really nice guy, really cool guy. You can't help but be happy for the guy no matter what he does. So there's always a conversation about who are the best boxers in UFC, okay? And I always get a little frustrated with the conversation because there's no boxing in the UFC, okay? There's striking, but it's completely different than boxing. We're always talking about this. If any of our UFC fighters goes and boxes a current champion, the boxer is going to win. So I understand, like, if we say the top 5 strikers in the UFC, but I don't get why we say the top 5 boxers. These guys are fighting barefoot. The boxers fight with shoes on them. That in itself is 2 different games, 2 different sports, okay? Now we got small gloves on that you can open your hands and really, like, parry fucking punches. Or you have the glove where you can kind of, you can clinch in MMA and throw elbows and throw knees from the clinch. Like, it's nothing like a boxing fight. But everybody's always talking, I'm the best boxer in the UFC. You're the best striker in the UFC. I don't know. I just think that the shoes and the gloves being the 2 main factors in how this is not boxing, not to mention the footwork's different. The angles are different. The clinch is different. The rounds are different. The fight's longer in boxing. I don't know. But this is always a conversation that people want to have. Not sure why. Don't have a lot more. That's it, really. Thank our special co-host for jumping in on this episode. Gonna try to be posting twice a week rather than once a week since I do not have a fight coming up. It's the holidays. I got nothing but time to sit here in my fucking camera and talk to it. So, expect another video this week. And yeah, that's it. You got anything else?
No, nothing really.
That's it? Right on. Well, that being said, Guero fucking out. I'll see you guys very fucking soon.